Well, hey everyone, my name is Nathan Jones, and if you're new here, welcome. I like to talk about all things movies, specifically Blu-rays, and today we're going to be doing just that. We're going to be talking about some Blu-ray and 4K pickups that I did for the month of January. And so January was actually quite a month, and you'll probably see the thumbnail, right? There's actually quite a bit of acquisitions that I picked up. A lot of it stragglers from December when I pre-ordered those things, or maybe I got them early January, but I slowed down near the end of the month when I'm recording this right now. So, but yes, I should have everything that I've ordered in the mail, at least at the moment, coming this month at least. So anyway, I want to know before we jump into this, what have you been watching for the month of January, and also what have you been picking up? I would love to know in the comment section down below. All right, let's jump into some single titles. All right, first I want to talk a little bit about some 2021 titles that recently came out. Obviously on Blu-ray, some things that are just really recent here. One is a Blu-ray that I have not seen yet, but I'm very excited to see it because I'm still kind of formulating my top 10 of 2021, and this might be in that top 10, but I haven't seen it yet, so I couldn't tell you. But talking about Kristen Stewart and Spencer right here. This is about Princess Diana. And I've heard she just does a phenomenal job in this role. And this is just the standard Blu-ray right here. It just has a bonus feature of the making of Spencer. And actually my copy's, I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little beat up. Yeah, it's just a standard edition of the Blu-ray, but it was relatively cheap. I think it was like just as cheap as when I picked up Pig. Yeah, I'm very curious to know a little bit more about this film and watch her performance. And I've heard, like I said, I know that this is coming from the director of Jackie, another film that I still have not seen yet. I know it's on that list of things to watch, right? But Spencer, have you seen it? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, moving right along, I want to talk about some 4K titles, and I've seen, I think, all of them but maybe one. But anyway, so sticking with 2021, I want to talk about Ridley Scott's The Last Duel right here. This was a film that was just in and out of theaters just really quickly, and it's actually one of those films that I know a lot of people were a little bit bummed that they weren't able to see it. It was just really bad timing, and just, you know, right as people were kind of coming out of the pandemic, but also, you know, things are kind of going back to it. But with Last Duel kind of had some of that, and I guess not everyone really was able to see it in theaters, but now it is available on Blu-ray and on 4K as well, and I was able to finally watch it, and I really loved this film. Storytelling, you know, you have different perspectives of a deed that happens that is just kind of, it is unforgivable, but you know, we're trying to see from different angles of perspectives. But we have Matt Damon, Adam Driver, Jodie Comer. They're the three main characters in this film. Ben Affleck is also in it. He is also one of the main characters. It's a really cool cast, and I think these are really great performances by all of the people involved. I particularly love Jodie Comer in this film, and I thought she was phenomenal. But you know, just seeing these group of people with Ridley Scott was really great, and this is a high recommend on my list. And yeah, if you haven't seen The Last Duel, I'd say give it a watch. Those last 20 minutes of this film are particularly well worth it, yeah, are just some of the most brutal filmmaking I've seen, you know, in a big budget action epic that we don't really have anymore. All right, speaking of big action epics, next we're going to talk about Dune right here. This is Dune on 4K. I pre-ordered this not too long ago, and I got it finally from in the mail, and this is a really great copy here. I've heard really fantastic things about this particular transfer, the 4K disc transfer. This is directed by Denis Villeneuve. This is part one. The second part is, I guess, coming out probably in a couple years, but when they're, you know, filming it now, so they get the go ahead. But phenomenal film. Really loved this film. This is definitely in my top 10 of the year, and I could not stop thinking about it after I watched it. And I'm not one of those people who have read the book Dune, nor am I like a huge fan of Dune. I've seen Jodorowsky's Dune, the documentary, so that and this are pretty much my only knowledge. I haven't even seen David Lynch's Dune. So, but anyway, have any of you seen this 4K or seen this in theaters? I want to know what your thoughts on Dune are down in the comment section down below. Next is another film that is probably going to be in my top 10 of the year. It was probably the biggest surprise from Marvel this year, movie-wise, and I'm talking about Shang-Chi right here, The Legend of the Ten Rings. Phenomenal film. I really loved Simu Liu. I think he did a phenomenal job as Shang-Chi, and then obviously Aquafina as, you know, I guess the other part. These are our two main protagonists here that we're following along in their journey, pretty much his best friend. And I really loved how they you know, interacted with each other. I thought that their dynamic was incredible, and kind of a breath of fresh air from kind of the Marvel formula you get with like a male and a female, right? We also have Tony Leung, who is just he is a very compelling villain, and a villain that you can you know, sympathize with, and I really enjoyed his character. Michelle Yeoh is in it as well. You know, and you get, it's a Marvel film, so you're going to see a lot of cameos, but phenomenal film. And yeah, I wanted to pick this up on 4K. I know it is on Disney Plus, so if you have that, you can watch it there as well. But yeah, this is definitely a really great Marvel film, and I definitely recommend it. All right, next is a film that I believe I got for a cheaper price than it normally was, but this came out earlier this last year, and I watched it on HBO Max, I believe, when it came out. I believe that the theaters were not open still, but I watched Godzilla vs. Kong, and I've heard this is just a really great 4K, and a really good showcase of the I almost said platform, the market of 4Ks themselves, right? This is a showcase disc, if you will, and yeah, I really had fun with this, and since 2014's Godzilla, which is probably my least favorite of the three of the Godzilla films, and also then you get Kong Skull Island, which is I guess the precursor for this particular Kong, which I didn't really like that much. I need to revisit it. It's a long time since I watched that film, but anyway, I had a lot of fun with this. This is a, you know, a brainless popcorn film, and having them fight is just a lot of fun to see. And I really wish I was able to see this in theaters, but regardless, I had a good time, and now I have it on 4K, so I can watch it in my own home theater. All right, these next three titles I got from Groove.com, it's Groove.com. I was sent their way through means of Jeff from Films at Home, and he talked a lot about this particular company, and so I was curious. I didn't really get anything out of this world because I already have a lot of the releases on Blu-ray. They don't have this deal going on at the moment anymore, but I still got three things. So I did get 3 for $30, I believe. This is what the deal was when it is, and I'm sure it's going to be a reoccurring thing. But speaking of Kong, I got Peter Jackson's King Kong, the Ultimate Edition right here. I have King Kong. I had it on Blu-ray. And this is a film that I remember when I watched it in theaters and how much of a good time I had with it. Just the follow-up from Lord of the Rings, another epic thing from Peter Jackson. This is an incredibly long film. It's 3 hours and 8 minutes theatrically, and 3 hours and 20 minutes extended. So you add another 12 minutes, I suppose. It's not too much more addition. I believe there's more stuff in that valley of all of the insects, which is a frightening sequence. Regardless, very excited about this. It's got Naomi Watts, Adrian Brody, and Jack Black in it as our main characters, and then obviously Kong. And next is a film that is getting a lot of reevaluation from a lot of people. This is directed by Ang Lee, and it is Hulk right here with Eric Bana. This is not a part of the MCU. This is way before it, when Fox owned all of the Marvel characters mostly. But yeah, this is a film that I barely remember. In fact, the thing that I do remember the most is around this particular time. I was in my young teens. Yeah, my young teens when this came out, and when that happened, I was able to go on like a Universal Studio Hulk ride, and yeah, this is they play this movie a lot, and that's where my memory with this movie is. But a lot of people critically reevaluating this movie, and I couldn't pass it up for the 3 for $30. And then this last film is one that I swear that I have seen it, or at least all of it. I know I've seen a million parts of this movie, but I could not tell you the entire movie. I just know sequences of this movie, and I'm talking about Kevin Costner and Field of Dreams. I know, classic film. Still don't know if I've seen the whole thing, but yeah, great film from what I've seen in this movie. And this is the 30th anniversary edition, and yeah, I wanted to add this also to the collection. So, this next 4K is from Kino Lorber, who has just been killing it when it comes to their production of their 4Ks and how well the transfers are. But talking about 1978's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. We have Donald Sutherland, Brooke Adams, Leonard Nimoy, Jeff Goldblum, Veronica Cartwright. This is an amazing, amazing film. I have this edition behind me from Scream Factory, but I've heard really great things about this particular release. I would love to get the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I still don't have that edition. And I actually believe that Olive Films may have put it out. Don't quote me on that, but I need to get that still. But yes, has anyone seen the 4K edition of this, the release? I want to know what your thoughts on it and how this compares to the Scream Factory release. That would be really great to hear in the comment section down below. Next are two Warner Archive releases, and they are Blu-rays. And I finally picked up the last Thin Man film series, Song of the Thin Man. So now I have all the Thin Mans that have been out. I think this is the 6th one right here. So I'm finally able to watch all the Thin Mans. I'm going to do that probably a little bit later on. I'm not in the mood at the moment to watch these things. I'm still getting into my folk horror right now, kind of halfway through that set. So yeah, but the Thin Man, I'm very happy to have this series. This one is the last one from 1947. And yeah, very, very excited about this series. And then last from Warner Archive is a 1935 slapstick comedy that I have not seen, but I'm a huge fan of these people. Talking about the Marx Brothers right here, Night at the Opera. This is a classic Marx Brother film that is just something that I have not seen. I probably have seen snippets from it and some bits, but I just love the Marx Brothers, and I just love all their antics. And Harpo might be my favorite. I just love the physicalness of it and the nonverbal stuff. But anyway, Night at the Opera, very excited to have this, and I'm glad that Warner Archive put it out. All right, next we have a film from Imprint Films. This is the boutique label from Australia. So I don't have too many of their releases because it's rather expensive, but I really wanted to get this one because I've actually heard really fantastic things. As somebody who is not super well versed in David Lynch, this is something that is more of the straight story right here. This is the straight story from them, from Imprint. This is spy number 61 right here. And it is about a 73-year-old going across the country in America to see his relationship with his estranged older brother, but he's on a lawnmower right here. So he's going 317 miles, which is insane. But yes, this has a lot of really great special features. It's a 1080p high definition presentation of the 4K master. But yes, I'm very, very excited about this. I've heard it is just a really, really wonderful David Lynch film. And I think this is maybe one of his more accessible films from what I've heard. But I do love David Lynch. I love the man, and I'm still curious to jump into more of his films, and down the road. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to start off with the straight story in my David Lynch rediscovery, because I have seen, like I said, quite a few of his stuff. But straight story. Have you seen it? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, now let's move on to some box sets, and the first one is from Kino Lorber, and I had to pick this up. This is the 5th edition of the film noir Dark Side of Cinema. This is volume 5 right here. This has 3 films, Because of You, Outside the Law, and The Midnight Story. So films that are starring Tony Curtis, Loretta Young, Jeff Chandler, things like that, and even a film directed by Jack Arnold. Very excited to check out these films when I'm in the noir mood, which eventually will happen because I still have so many noirs to see from Kino Lorber, from Indicator, etc. There's a lot to still watch. Noirs are classic, and I love them. All right, next are some titles from Arrow Video, and these are Volume 1 and 2 of the Rainer Werner Fassbinder Volume 1 and Volume 2 right here. This is blue and this is kind of pink right here, and so it has a lot of films. So let's look at Volume 1 real quick. So Volume 1 has Love is Colder Than Death, Katzelmacher, The Merchant of the Four Seasons, which I have seen and I really like, Beware of the Holy Whore, The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant, classic film, Tenderness of the Wolves. That's what Volume 1 has right there, and also a nice little booklet right there with it, alongside it. And these are the films themselves. It's a very thick book on Rainer Werner Fassbinder. And then there's some films right there. I always love that Merchant of Four Seasons face when he's just calling out, trying to sell what he's got, some fruit, But very excited to jump into more Fassbinder stuff. I'm still very curious to see him in his works. And speaking of him, in Volume 2, there's another film that I have seen, and that one is Fear Eats the Soul. So Ollie Fear Eats the Soul is also in this particular set. This is volume 2 right here. I'm going to have to take off this slip right here. I guess it just doesn't want to. There it is. Right there from Arrow Video. So the films that it has on here are Fear Eats the Soul, Effie Briest, Fox and His Friends, Chinese Roulette, and The Marriage of Maria Braun. So these are the films themselves. We have the second really thick booklet here on Fassbinder. Then we have the films themselves, the 5 films in here. One I think is as an extra on the other one. So anyway, I'm very excited, like I said, to check out more Fassbinder. I've only seen, I think, 3 of his works, but I've enjoyed all of them enough to where it's like I'm very curious about his filmography, and I have a good number of his releases now, and so I'm happy that Arrow Video was able to put out some Fassbinder releases. I know there's a volume 3. I kind of just wish there was a big box set of them all, because I'm sure this is a little bit of a money grab, but regardless, excited to, nonetheless, to check out some Fassbinder. All right, another 4K release, and this one is straight from A24, and I picked it up from their website. And this is the director's cut of Ari Aster's Midsommar. So this is a really, really, really fantastic little box set here that has so much going for it. And I actually showed this on my 5th anniversary live stream. This is there's a little preview right here of the things that it comes with, but I love this thing, and I think this is fantastic. There is the 4K itself, and all those flowers, and then it has a lot of different little things here. It's all the people, the production behind it, table of contents. It's like a storybook right here, right? And we have different things in here from different artwork, and very. Some of it I can't show, you know, on camera, but it's phenomenal. And there's even an introduction by Martin Scorsese talking about the film. But I love this presentation, and I know that A24 also did this for The Last Black Man in San Francisco, which I'm really wanting to get as well, and I actually don't have that at all. And so I'm happy to finally watch the director's cut of Midsommar, especially as I'm going through this folk horror kind of mentality that I'm going through right now when I'm going through this Severin box set. So very excited about this, and to add this to my collection. All right, last 4K, but these are huge 4Ks, and I'm very happy to finally own this. And I know this went down in price quite a bit at the early part of the month, but I finally got the Columbia Classics Volume 2, 4K Ultra HD Collection Volume 2, which has Anatomy of a Murder, Oliver, Taxi Driver, Stripes, Sense and Sensibility, and The Social Network. So I love this presentation. There's Columbia, there's the 6 films, and inside that Columbia, right here, I love the presentation, but sometimes you mess up when you're on, especially on camera, right? But you have this sweet booklet right here, and the booklet just has all these things with it. It also comes with, you know, maybe a thing I didn't open up earlier, and an extra disc right here. So this has all the quotes in it, and there's just different things like stills, and from the films itself, there's like Anatomy of a Murder, which is a great film. And I've actually seen 3 of the films on this. I've seen The Social Network, Taxi Driver, and Anatomy of a Murder. I actually think I've seen a lot of Stripes, but now I have it, so I can, you know, rewatch it. But I was kind of waiting to pick this one up because I already have quite a bit of the films, and I didn't necessarily want to, you know, add it to the collection. But I feel like I've heard just so many great reviews from so many different people talk about this set, and it went down in price enough to where it's like, this is actually something worth picking up. And so I did that, and yeah. But yeah, there was a really good deal on this, and I would love to have the Lawrence of Arabia from Volume 1 on its own thing. Please do that, Sony. Please do that. Anyway, Volume 2 of the Columbia Classics. And last but certainly not least is the Shah Scope from Arrow Video, Shah Scope Volume 1. Bunch of amazing films from the Shaw brothers right here. This is also an incredible setup and design. I'll pull it out. There is the box itself. And then it comes with a booklet right here. And once again, kind of just talks about each film that are in there. I'm talking in front of the camera. And it has all sorts of different films in here. Not just martial arts. There's even some like almost like I guess a Hong Kong kaiju film in here as well. The Mighty Peking Man. There's just a lot of really cool things in this set, and I'm very excited to jump into that. And there are the films themselves. There is quite a bit of movies in here. King Boxer, right here. Just love this design and setup. Obviously, I don't wish it was paperboard, but you know, for purposes of economics, I understand right here. That is the Boxer from Shang Tung. I'm going to go ahead and just list it all. 5 Shaolin Masters, Shaolin Temple, Mighty Peking Man, Challenge of the Masters and Executioners from Shaolin, Chinatown Kid, The 5 Venoms and Crippled Avengers, Heroes of the East and Dirty Ho, and Shaolin, then music from Shaolin Temple, Mighty Peking Man, and Chinatown Kid, and then music from The 5 Venoms, Crippled Avengers, and Dirty Ho. So very awesome set. I'm very happy about this. I know Volume 2 is coming out later on this year, and very excited about that once I do that. I think I'm going to jump into some martial arts films more towards the summer. That's when I'll probably be in the mood for that. But anyway, I wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I feel like I stumbled a little bit, but you know, kind of getting back to the groove of things. And I hope you enjoy the rest of January, and I would love to know what you picked up for the month. So let me know in the comment section down below. Please share this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next time. I'm not jonesing around.